It's Mrs. Kolb again. Welcome to week 2 in art. This week we're going to focus on places and spaces. But before we do that, I wanted to say thank you to all of the artists who submitted work on our Padlet gallery. It was very exciting to see all the artwork coming in, and I wanted to feature 3 students' artwork who I thought did an excellent job, and then we'll look at the rest of them who also did a wonderful job. First we have 8th grader Micah. His work is a pop art piece that features iconic cartoon characters. Thank you so much, Micah. We have Cole's piece. He's a 6th grader and he used candy to create his popular Bob Ross portrait. Nice job. And then we have Taylor's piece, who looks like she used pipe cleaners and perhaps created a clay of her own, or used her own clay laying around the house and to create the box. Nice job, looks awesome. And you can see the rest of the artwork on Padlet, and I wanted to show you our gallery of students and their artwork. So if you haven't already done so, you can upload your piece to Padlet. And here's the rest of our wonderful artwork that showed up this week. Great job. We saw some cool pieces, a 3D piece by Logan, made from his 3D printer. And we have a cool sculpture from Taylor, modeled after Klaus Oldenburg's large-scale sculptures. This Google Chrome piece by Jaden, made out of Legos, was pretty cool. A fruit piece by Emily. Jade with her rock art, cool apple, and lots of amazing pieces. Shelby's horseshoes, another pop art piece, Donovan's cat, Coke bottle, and I saw Nicholas's game controller. So it looks like a lot of people looked at modern and pop art as their pieces to get the inspiration of their pieces. So thank you so much for doing that. So what I'd like to do is come back to just explaining what this week is going to look like. You guys are going to have a choice of 3 different art movements. Medieval art from 300 to 1400 AD. You'll be looking at mosaics and illuminated letters, stained glass, among other pieces such as architecture and sculpture. You'll be also have a choice of ancient art, looking at Egyptian, Greek, Roman cultures, and you'll have a choice of creating a relief sculpture, a small architecture, regular sculpture, and here's another example of architecture. So enjoy looking at all of that. You can also choose from Impressionism, Post-Impressionism era from the 1860s to the 1800s. And again, looking at Van Gogh, Cezanne, and Monet's artwork and getting inspiration there. So the idea behind this week is to get your inspiration of not only from the different cultures, but also from places and spaces. So think about different places you may have been, some of the places that you see in the different movements that take you there. There'll be a short video that you can click on that will give you a little bit of background of how artists have been inspired by places that they've been to and looking around, even in their own homes, at different spaces to get inspiration to create their pieces. So once you have looked at your art movement, I would like you to focus this week on choosing to create your piece from a found object, from homemade paint or regular paint, or to use nature art. So try to do something different than what you did in your last piece. And this side here, your last column, will give you some inspiration to do additional research, looking at stained glass, mosaics, illuminated letters, different types of architecture, relief sculpture, and landscapes. And I included artist Mark Milmore, who creates landscapes and is inspired by Egyptian art. And I also included a salt dough recipe, so if you do want to create a sculpture or a small piece of architecture and you don't have clay at home, that's a good alternative. And then I included some additional videos on Paul Cézanne and Claude Monet, so you can get some inspiration there. And what I'd like to do is show you on my table here, I would like to show you just again a couple of ideas for using things from around the house. Okay, so this morning I went and got my husband's coffee, and then I raided our little ice cream cabinet that includes our sprinkles, and I got green sprinkles, blue sprinkles, and then we had some leftover multicolored sprinkles. These are the crystallized sprinkles. And what I did was I started to create a Roman aqueduct landscape picture. I got inspiration from a picture that I just downloaded off of the internet. And as I've created my piece, I'm going to just add a couple of additional touches, letting some of it dry so that I can go back in later. But right now I'm going to add some shadows to my aqueduct and just a little bit of detail to make it look more three-dimensional. Okay, and then kind of do a little bit of outlining. I have noticed with the homemade paint, it acts like a watercolor, and you need to let it dry in between each layer that you put in so that you can go back and add some details. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry and I'm gonna come back to it a little bit later and add in some final pieces, and I will post this on our Padlet, our next Padlet, which I have set up. Okay, and just to show you, I also started another piece. I downloaded Monet's Water Lilies, and I started to create a background from that piece. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm going to add some more detail in later, okay? All right, so you guys have fun making art this week, and I look forward to seeing what you're gonna post on our next Padlet gallery. Thanks, and have a great day.